Okay, so I have dead ass tried to record this a couple times, like trying to get this video started, and each time I just had the biggest fucking yawn. That is not at all indicative of this episode's quality. This was a great episode. This was a really, really good episode. At least I thought it was. I'm just a yawny boy right now. But welcome to another Frieren Friday, the penultimate edition. At least as far as the anime is concerned. I might still be like, hey, it's Frieren Friday. I've been reading the manga. Full spoilers for that. But like I've said, I'm not going to start the manga until the show is done. And we got one more week until I have to make good on that promise. So this was a very classic Frieren two-parter, where like the first half or so of the episode is, here's whatever kind of bullshit we're doing today, a more like slice of life thing. And then in the second half, this is the second story of today. And it's something I didn't realize how much I missed that. And don't get me wrong, I've been talking about how much I've enjoyed the Hunter exam, how I'm like, dude, last episode was crazy. Like, I got to see fucking mage fights, and I was so excited, and like the Frieren duel, making like a black hole, like a golem made of rocks, like, we're going full shonen, and I love it. But I also really like the other parts of this series. Like this, it's kind of like you're really thinking about, I'm like, damn, is there anything about this show I legitimately dislike? Well, I can think of one thing. There just hasn't been enough Stark. Like seeing him for like 2 seconds, like, that's right, I miss this lovable fucking idiot. But our story for the first chunk of the episode is, we're following the mages who passed, and also, honestly, some of the ones who failed. Fern and Frieren are having a bit of a squabble because Fern's staff got absolutely obliterated during her fight with Replica Frieren, Shadow Frieren. What did they call them? Because I don't remember if did they call them replicas, or did I just want to call them replicas because I played Tales of the Abyss last year? Anyways, Doppel Frieren. Fern wants to repair her staff, because, you know, it's something that's very personal to her. It's something that Heiter gave her. It's the staff she's had all her life. It has a lot of sentimental value. Frieren sees it and says, just get a new one. It's broken. It's not a problem if you get a new one. Maybe you can get a better one. It might be a better idea. Fern is very unhappy about that. So Frieren takes the remnants of it in a bag, goes to Richter, who is one of the ones who failed, and is like, hey, can you fix this for me? I mean, you're probably better off getting a new one. Like, look at this fucking piece of shit. This thing is destroyed. Yeah, I know, but I want to get it fixed. Can you do it? Fine. So, you know, there's a bit more like nuance back and forth. That's essentially what it is. He's like, all right, fine, I'll do it. And as he's fixing, he's like, okay, I take back what I said about this being like a fucking piece of trash. This is actually a very beautiful staff. It's been very well maintained. Like, I got this. You get a scene between Kane and Lavigne, and Lavigne's very upset and mopey that she failed the second test, and Kane's like, do you want me to pat your head? Yeah, so gives a little head pat. Denkin and Lawfon go to visit Richter. He's like, old man, I failed, you passed. We have no reason to communicate anymore. He's like, you're an insolent little shit, Richter. That's what I like about you. You remind me of me when I was your age. And look where I am. Like, I'm an Imperial mage. I'm one of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. That means you still have room for improvement. You still have time to improve. The next exam's in 3 years. I wish you the best of luck. So you know, a lot of fun, go on their way, and when Fern gets back to her room, she finds the finished staff, and Frieren's in the other bed just asleep. She's just chilling. That was the first part of the episode, and it was just very sweet. It feels weird to say it's like this was classic Frieren, because it makes it sound like it's been this really long series and it's had this identity change. Like, but this is classic old school shit. But it does feel like an older episode, like just something, I don't know, pre-Hunter exam arc, which again, I love. But it was nice to have something like this too. Something more emotional, something slower. Was there anything else I wanted to say about it before we get into the third test? Nope. That was basically it. So time for the third test. So Setier appears in person, and I don't remember what his name was, but he's the OG first-class mage and Setier's human apprentice. Setier talks about how this person, had a lot of promise, but didn't quite live up to it. They can't see the fluctuations in Setier's mana. It's like, it shows that as strong as you are, you're not as good as I thought you would be, and I'm disappointed. Also, something I have to say, apparently Setier is a woman, and I thought it was a dude. So, in, previous videos, I think I've referred to Setier as him or he, because that's what I thought. Apparently, I was wrong, so I will change that. I mean, I'm not going to go back and change. It's already been recorded. But I will refer to Setier now as she, her, whatever, because apparently that is correct. So Setier is saying, look, all of these fucking people passed the second exam, and I don't inherently have a problem with that. The problem I have is Frieren is here. And I feel like all of these people passed, not because of their own skill, but because they relied on her. And if we give these people the title of a first-class mage when they're not prepared for it, they're just gonna fucking die. And I don't want to deal with that shit. So tell you what, I am gonna handle, I'm gonna do the third test. I'm gonna do it. I just said that, why did I fucking repeat myself? I'm gonna handle the third round of testing. I know that's usually what you do, but these are special circumstances. If anyone's going to test Frieren, it's going to be me. And as soon as Frieren hears about this, she goes, oh, I'm going to fail because there's no way Setier is going to let me pass. We don't like each other. We don't agree with each other. I'm fucked, Fern. I mean, you might be fucked on association, but I don't know. Because, that's kind of what she says at first, but then later she's like, you know what? I think Setier is going to fail me no matter what. I think she's going to pass you no matter what. Because you are going to exceed her expectations. With everything I know about her and everything I know about you, you've got this. Just stick to your guns. No matter what she says, no matter her demands, stay true to who you are. She will pass you. So the first person that walks in is Kane. Doesn't say anything and Setier is like, you fail. Can I ask why? Sure. You're afraid of me. You walked in, you saw my mana, and you were intimidated. Something they keep talking about, especially in this arc, is how magic works. You cannot cast a spell that you can't envision. Or at the very least, you can't get an outcome if you can't envision it. You, young lady, you cannot envision being a first-class mage. You don't think that you are ready for it. You don't think that you've earned it. And just seeing me and being in my presence, it's making you realize how small you are and how weak you are. You're not ready. You fail. And then we just go to rapid fire of other people failing. We get Lanfan failing. We get Werbel's two companions failing. I think it was that one dude in Adel's group failed. I don't think we saw the Ara mage. And again, I don't remember her name. This is my caller. I don't think we saw her. I know we didn't see Yubel, Land, Werbel, or Old Man Denkin. So we'll find out next week if they failed or passed. But then we get to Frieren after the lightning round, and then he's like, Setier is like, okay, you also don't foresee you don't see yourself becoming a first-class mage, but it's not for the reasons of everyone else. Everyone else doesn't think they're good enough. You just think I'm gonna fail you no matter what. And I mean, let's be real. Let's call a spade a spade. You're not wrong, but I'll tell you what, Frieren. For old time's sake, for the fact that you made it all the way here, I'll humor you. What's your favorite spell? It's the Field of Flowers. It's a really good spell. Yeah, it was Flame's favorite. It's a pretty fucking useless spell. You fail. Alright. And as she's walking away, he's like, or she again, like, huh, I'm mocking you right to your face, and you're not gonna say anything. I thought you were stronger than that. I thought you had more of a backbone. To which Frieren's like, you know what? I really don't give a shit, because she hasn't. The only reason she's doing this is just so she can go indoors. It's like, look, I don't fucking care really what you think of me. I don't care about this title. This is why this is my favorite spell. I was talking to Himmel one day, or actually before that, they're talking about how the fuck did someone like you beat the Demon King? The reason someone like me beat the Demon King is because I had good companions. I think if it wasn't for Himmel, Heiter, and Eisen, I wouldn't have made it. But also, if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have made it either. We all needed each other. Himmel told me one day during our adventures that he and I had met a long time ago. Because I had asked him, I was like, why me? Of all the mages out there, why did you want me? It's like, I wanted someone powerful. There's a lot of powerful mages out there. Why did you look for me? Because when I was a boy, I was out in the woods. And it was dark. I was scared. I was lonely. I had no idea how the fuck to get back home. And this elf wanders by. She doesn't say a word. But she looks at me and, I don't know, I think she took pity on me and she just points me in the direction of the village. But I didn't get up yet. I was, like I said, I was scared, but also, here's this, here's an elf. That's someone who's very rare, very majestic, very beautiful. I'm just kind of, starstruck for a moment, I guess. But again, I'm also fucking scared. I don't know what to do. I think she sensed that and she wanted to make me feel okay. She wanted me to feel safe. So she cast the spell and made this beautiful field of flowers. And it worked. I felt safe. I felt okay. And I went back home. And I decided that was going to be my party member. If I'm going to go beat the Demon King, that's who I want by my side. Frieren says, that's why it's my favorite spell. Oh, and by the way, Serie, Fern's going to pass. It doesn't matter. She is going to exceed your expectations. And as much as you might want to fail her out of pure spite, you won't be able to. Just really now. Well, now I'm curious. I don't believe you, but I'm curious. Send her in. So Fern comes in, and Fern is... She's not quite trembling, but she does kind of seem a little intimidated. And Sadie is like, all right, she looks like exceed my expectations. Bullshit. She looks just as intimidated as everyone else, but I don't know. There's this look in her eye. What do you see when you look at me? Why are you looking at me like that? It's like, your mana, I can see it fluctuating. Really now? Huh. You want to be my apprentice? And then I loved Fern's reaction. It was literally just, what? No. I think that's literally what she said was, what? No. Well, I mean, hey, I'm the head of the Mages Association. I was the most powerful mage in the world when Frieren was basically just a kid who didn't know shit. I'm way stronger. I'm blah, 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 blah. I think you should be my apprentice. I see something really exciting in you. Because look, the OG first class mage, my apprentice, he can't see this shit. And I'm disappointed in his lack of progress and potential. And you've already surpassed that. Come on. To which then you get the flashback of Frieren telling Fern, Serie will pass you no matter what. Don't give in to her demands. Stand your ground. So Fern says no. Or she asks her at first, does my passing depend on my answer? Perhaps. So what do you say? You're going to be my apprentice? No. Frieren is my teacher. I'm going to be her apprentice. You sure? Yup. Fine. You pass. And that's how the episode ends. And so I have to admit when I'm wrong. I had said for the past few weeks that my theory is that Frieren was going to fail, Fern was going to fail, Denkin would pass, and Denkin would join the party as the first class mage so they could go about so they could continue their adventure north to go to the Oriole, I believe is what it was called. So clearly I was wrong. Frieren did fail, I was right about that, but Fern passed, so they don't need Denkin. So I don't know what's going to happen with him. I'm still assuming he passes. Maybe I got it backwards and he does fail, but he joins the party anyways to not hook up, I don't want to say that, to link up with Fern as the first class mage so they can keep going. I don't know. Sorry, I had a call come in real quick. I'll deal with that in a bit. But, apparently I was wrong about that, at least to some degree. We'll see what happens with Denkin. We'll see if he does become a party member, if this is the last we see of him, if he kind of shows up now and then. But, like I said, this was a really good episode. I liked the flashbacks. I liked kind of the slow vibe of it. I actually liked the test quite a bit. I mean, say what you will about Serie kind of being a piece of shit, but she's not wrong. Like, if you're a first-class mage, you have to be strong enough. You have to be able to take care of yourself. If you if you can't see yourself actually being that strong, what the fuck are we doing here? If you pass not on your own merits, but purely because of Frieren, you don't really deserve it. And then with Frieren, it's like, I just hate you, so I'm not gonna let you be like, okay, like, yeah, piece of shit. But with kind of everyone else, I see the merit in her test. But, yeah, really enjoyed the episode. Looking forward to next week's finale, and then reading the fucking manga.